Hey guys, coming at you with the Demise Supreme King of Armageddon deck profile. I apologize for the lack of World Chalice decks, but I'm currently in testing for them and building, so we'll get that in the future videos. But for now, we have a fun, cheap deck that has one strategy and one strategy only, going face and blowing up the board. So to get on with it, we have two copies of Demise Supreme King of Armageddon. He is your main boss monster. His main effect is that when you activate it, it nukes the board. You do have to pay a cost of 2,000 life points, but if he's ritual summoned using only ritual monsters, that cost is free. He also protects your ritual monsters from battle, so if there's anything that your opponent tries to run over, he gives you immunity to all that. So really good card. He is your main boss monster. You want him on board to nuke everything. We run two copies of Ruin, uh, Supreme Queen of Oblivion. She has the same stipulation that if she's ritual summoned using only ritual monsters, she gains a different effect, which is she can attack twice. If she destroys a monster by battle, she inflicts damage to your opponent equal to the attack of that monster, the original attack. And she protects from destruction. So if you have both on board, they are both immune to battle and card effects for destruction. Really solid. Helps you swing for game. And now for the OG, Demise King of Armageddon. Nothing to say here. We all know what this did back in the day. He pays 2,000 life points, nukes the board. Nothing really much to say here. You got to run 3 copies because pre-prep requires you to search for him specifically, so he's a good target for that.
Not once per turn.
Not once per turn. Do it as many times as you want. I run 1 copy of Demise Agent of Armageddon. The reason why I run the 1 copy is because it's searchable, and it has a very important effect that when it's sent to the graveyard, you can target a ritual monster you control, which allows you to prevent your opponent from activating card effects when they activate their card effects. So if you pitch this to the grave and you target your Demise or Supreme King, your opponent has no choice but to prevent that effect from going through, because otherwise you're going to wipe the board unimpeded. So really good bait, really strong card, and it being at 1 is all you really need. 2 Incantation Chalice Slime. We are running the Incantation Engine, and this is a key playmaker. It is a pre-prep target. No, not pre-prep. Preparation of rights target. It also allows you to extend some plays by revealing incantations from your hand to special summon from the deck. Extends the ritual plays and allows recursion. Really good card. I really wouldn't cut this down, but I wouldn't add a 3rd one because it becomes bricky because of the levels. Level 7 isn't ideal because the original ritual card for Demise requires exact levels, so 7's kind of tough to deal with. Of course, it's for the incantations. We're just going to pile them up. 3 Candle, 3 Talisman, 2 of the Pencil, and 2 of the Book. Each one has the same effect where you reveal it in hand along with a corresponding ritual or ritual monster ritual spell, and then you special summon this from the deck along with another incantation of a different name. And then when they're special summoned from the deck, you will get to search for a ritual spell from your deck, graveyard, either a ritual spell or ritual monster, respectively. So this is a good amount. You don't want to run the smaller ones. Not only are they smaller in levels, but because they target the graveyard, they're more extenders than they are starters, so you really don't want to see these that often. Now for your normal summons, we run 3 copies of Manju and 3 copies of Senju. There's just to search missing pieces, whether it be the ritual spell or the ritual monster, so just run these to your heart's content. I wouldn't run 3 of Senju though, because it only searches for 1 and not the other, unlike Manju, so it's good at 2.
What about Sonic Bird?
Sonic Bird isn't that good because the incantations cover that base since you have extra ritual spells. You're going second deck, which means 3 Frankertops is a must. Puts a body on board for free, nukes a card, attacks over things. You all know what it does and how good it is. It's just a super card for helping you pop some problematic cards on board so you can carry on with your plays unimpeded. Really good. Mandatory. Now for the rituals. 2 End of the World, 2 Cycle of the World. End of the World requires exact amount of levels for its summoning, so you want to see it because you want to run them at 2 because you have other means to ritual summon. but you don't want to be restricted that heavily, and it is a pre-prep card, so you got to make sure you run it, but 3 would be too much and can cause some problems. Cycle of the World does not have the restriction. It allows you to special summon them using exceeding numbers. It also has a graveyard effect that lets you, forgive me, you can add End of the World from your deck to the graveyard if this card's in the graveyard, and then search for Demise. So really good recursion. It gives you a turn 3 play if you get there, or turn 4 rather, and just offers more options. So you got to run 2 and 2 is fine. 1 copy of Incantation Inception. Extra ritual card helps a lot because it has a lot of recursion. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can add it back to your hand by adding a special summoning a incantation from the deck. So it gives you another body on board for ritual summoning and adds itself back. So it's essentially 2 ritual summons. You don't want to run more than 1 because it requires you to use only incantations, and that can be a little restrictive with some of the other ritual monsters in your hand. So good at 1, and it is searchable. Really good card. Obvious is obvious. 3 pre-prep. Searches for your ritual monsters and your ritual spells. Got to run at 3, get maximum advantage, and that's pretty much it there. And then 2 preparation of rites. You don't have that many level 7 targets, but it is important to get the to recur your ritual spells from your graveyard, and it does give you Chalice Line, which is an extender, so it's worth running the 2 to just get that. Plus, it could also search for the Agent of Demise, and that's your main way of searching it most of the time, because you don't want to waste an incantation searching for a tiny body. This is a much better idea to do so. And although this is a budget non-budget variant, you can be budget. I have 3 Pot of Extravagance. The extra deck does not matter. Incantations do not let you special summon from the extra deck, so your extra deck is really irrelevant for the most part. If you want to run 3 Pot of Desires, it works just as well. You have plenty of 3-ofs in the deck. You don't have to worry about banishing anything that's important or relevant. You just want to make sure you win turn 2 after your opponent goes first. So Pot of Desires is a great addition instead of this. Now for the extra deck, very simple. 3 Gustav Max. Once you're done blowing up the board and hitting your opponent as hard as you can, you go into this card, you hit him for an extra 2,000 damage, it should be game. There's no reason not to run this card. It's really one of the better rank 10s, along with obvious Super Dreadnought, Super Dora. Another end of battle phase monster to go into. Use this to just kind of protect yourself if you didn't get to swing for game. Kind of sits there being a big booty and prevents you from getting OTK'd afterwards. So you have to run these. They're just mandatory. And now this is the part that does not matter. I have a bunch of filler link monsters. Again, incantations do not let you go into the extra deck, so they're relatively useless. And you can put things like Phoenix and Cerebus, but really they're so fringe because your main boss monster blows up the board. Why would you waste that blowing up 1 card when you can blow up everything? You can run Super Poly in the main deck or side deck if you wish to, and then replace these with Super Poly targets as such. But because of the budget nature of this and what we're really trying to accomplish, I see no point in it. Feel free to customize to your liking. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck profile. A lot of fun, super cheap. I do enjoy it a lot. There's nothing better than catching your opponent off guard by nuking their board and attacking for game. It can steal wins. Local, sure, why not? You take it to your locals, have fun. Probably with the Pot of Desires instead of the Extravagance, probably costs like $20 to make the deck, maybe a little less. But that's it. I hope you enjoy. If you have any comments, questions, please leave it in the comment section down below. Thank you.